Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K Collector, and welcome to 2024. The year has started off pretty strong. I've been able to get out and about and do some window shopping. Haven't really done a lot of purchasing of video games, but I definitely have spotted some amazing things out in the wild. I mean, I'm seeing things in GameStop that I'd never seen before. I'm talking N64 games, GameCube games, Smash Bros. I mean, all types of stuff at GameStop. So now is definitely a good time to check them out. It seems like they're putting a lot of attention, time, and energy into their retro selections. So whenever I go into the GameStop stores, I immediately ask for their DS, their 3DS, their Wii, their Wii U games, just to see what they have in their selection. And the pricing used to be good, but it seems like they're probably basing it off of like price charting, because a lot of their prices have pretty much caught up to what eBay prices are. Even if you go online, I mean, and there's a huge selection on GameStop online. You can find a ton of retro games, which I think is super cool. I mean, it makes it easier if you're into retro collecting for you to pick up retro games without having to resort to, eBay and things like that. The only challenge is that sometimes it's really based on your location, whether or not the game will be accessible to you. But I just thought that it was really cool that, now in 2024, it's probably easier to find retro games than ever. So you don't have to depend on DK Oldies, eBay, Mercari. GameStop is definitely an option, and I've been taking advantage. I think the best time to go retro shopping on GameStop's website is when they're doing their buy two get one on used, because retro games do fall under the used category, even though sometimes they try to exclude them, so which I think is a little funny. But look, just now is a great time to be a retro collector if you're still doing it. I've been able to actually get out and make some amazing trades since the year has started, so I'm super psyched to share with you some of that. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about some of the things that I said that I wanted to do in 2024, and one of those things was lose 20 to 25 pounds. And so I kicked the year off with this 3-day fast, right? Which, I gotta say was really challenging the first day, the second day, because the first and second days that I did the fast, I actually went to the gym. By the time I got to the third day of the fast, my energy had been completely depleted. I had lost roughly, close to 6 pounds, but my energy was just completely depleted. I didn't really have much in me, and TMI, but I wound up actually up chugging later on that night. So learned some lessons about replacing electrolytes and making sure I had the right types of fluids in me to avoid dehydration. But overall, just to give everyone an update, I'm 6 pounds into my 25-pound weight loss journey. So that is exciting, and I definitely wanted to share that with you all as well. On top of that, I had mentioned in my last kind of off-the-cuff video that I wanted to make sure that I was getting the right, footwear when I'm working out. And as you saw, I have some old tennis shoes that I use, which were tennis shoes that I actually wore like out and about. So I needed to replace those, and wound up actually going to a few shoe stores. And it looks like that they've been releasing a lot of Nike Dunks. I've never been a dunk person, but there were a ton of these in the store. I'm extremely flat-footed, so things like Air Force Ones, work a lot for me. As I've gotten older, I've realized how, chunky Air Force Ones actually are. So the Dunks actually looked more just appropriate for me. They were kind of my style. And so I think I like the black and white ones. So I went with the black and white ones and wound up picking those up. But if you know about Nike Dunks, are these like, I don't know how popular these are. I don't know how, crazy these are. But yeah, I got those and just kept on going until I lost a full 6 pounds. Got my workout, got the replacement sneakers to go into the wardrobe, and then I was using my old tennis shoes to kind of get out there and just get my exercise on. And it's just been an incredible kickoff to the year. I mean, just 6 pounds down, just finding a bunch of cool stuff at GameStop. Haven't made a ton of purchases yet, but it's just amazing to see what I'm finding out there in the retro scene. And I think that that's just super sick. But I was able to actually get into something this weekend that I'm excited to share. As many of you know, I've gone through my collection and I decided to sell a bunch of my Nintendo Switch games. Sold off maybe about 20 to 25% of my Switch collection, and I wound up going to one of my local retro game stores here in the metro area, and this place is pretty sick. They've got a really awesome selection, and the owner is pretty cool. And so we worked out a pretty cool deal where I was able to sell off a bunch of Switch games, just games that I'm not, I know that I'm not really going to get into right now, just because I've got a lot going on, and I'm really trying to shrink my collection. And I thought that the best way to kind of shrink it down would be to get some of that excess Switch fluff. I think it's just, the Switch is tricky, Don't let the little red box fool you, because there is a lot of shovelware on the Switch, just like the Wii. There's a lot of games on the Switch, and there's a lot of good games on the Switch, but there's a lot of duplication. And what do I mean? I mean, there are a lot of good games on the Switch that are just cousins of a different game, meaning it's like the same game just repackaged in a different format, different sprite work, different artwork or 3D graphics, whatever the case may be. And so it's kind of easy to get caught up in that, and I just wanted to avoid that. And so I traded a bunch of those Switch games in, and while I was there, I happened to notice that they had these super clean complete in box Super Nintendo games. And so I wound up taking some of that trade-in cred and putting it towards 3 complete in box Super Nintendo games. The first being Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. Even though I have the loose cart, I went ahead and got the complete in box version. I'm going to sell my loose cart just because of how minty the boxes were. They also had a really clean copy of Super Castlevania 4, which is really just going to be a collector's piece in my collection. And then they had a complete copy of Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Story. So just some sick stuff there, and that's always exciting to see, right? Like, I definitely didn't intend on making any pickups today. Today was all about making some sales, just kind of downsizing the collection. But I can't deny, whenever I spot a gem or just something that really kind of speaks to me, I'm definitely not one to try and build a complete SNES complete in box set. Definitely not. But if I do find select pieces that pique my interest, I'll definitely go ahead and pick them up. And now is a really good time. Now is definitely a really good time to get out there, check out the game hunting scene. Sorry about that. But check out the game hunting scene, see what's going on out there. The prices are coming down. So if you are wondering, what prices are like, or, if people were actually spending a lot of money on video games, I actually wound up speaking with one of the video game store owners that I was with today. And he was telling me how, I was asking him, hey, is it busy here? Is there a lot of foot traffic going on right now? And he happened to share with me that there actually wasn't a lot of foot traffic. He actually said that, a lot of the folks that were coming into his store weren't really buying Switch games. They weren't definitely not buying PS4 games. You can't even bring an Xbox game into a store. But I was shocked when he told me that a lot of people are really buying up PlayStation 2 games. And I was really kind of thrown off by that. I was like, PlayStation 2? And he was like, yeah. He was like, it makes a lot of sense because the PlayStation 2 is still one of the only retro systems that have affordable good games. He was like, if it's a system where the game is good, like if it's a good game on the GameCube, good night. It's going to be, $60, $70, $80, $100, right? Same thing with the Dreamcast. Same thing with the, what else do you have there? I mean, yeah, same thing with the Dreamcast, same thing with the GameCube. Xbox, not so much, because I don't think Xbox games really shoot up that much in price. But definitely when it came to the Dreamcast and GameCube, any good games were going to be expensive. Whereas with the PlayStation 2, you have a lot of good games that are super cheap. I mean, and so many come to my mind, so many. And, he made the statement while I was in the store that, that's what people are walking into the store and buying. That's what they're into. They're more so buying up the PlayStation 2 stuff. And so that's kind of what I'm wondering. I want to put that question out there. Is it, is that what people are really into? See, I thought, the Switch was really what everyone was into. I mean, I sold a bunch of Switch games, about $1,800 in credit, right? In store credit. So, I mean, we're talking, and that wasn't even a ton of Switch games, but that just goes to show you, the value of Switch games right now. So $1,800 in store cred, but he's telling me that more folks are buying PlayStation 2 games. So I'm really, really interested to know what you all think. Is that the case in your area? Is it more that folks are into Switch games, or are they buying PlayStation 2 games? What are you seeing near you? Because I thought it was super interesting just to see that. But that does it for me. I mean, it's been an incredible weekend. I mean, $1,800 in Switch sales, 3 complete in box, minty fresh Super Nintendo games, and 6 pounds down. I would say that this has been a hell of a week, doing the 3-day fast, running into some amazing retro games and downsizing the collection. It's just been an amazing start to 2024. I can't wait to see what else there is to come, and I'm definitely going to take everyone along for the ride. But that does it for me. I am the Y2K Collector. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I will catch you on the next one. Take it easy.